Hello, welcome back to Team Fortress TV. I am still here, so is Yuki. We're still watching the Yomies, but they're playing against a different opponent this time on a different map. They're against the Street Hoops, replaying one of their previous week's games, which had to be rescheduled due to the whole ESEA drama, you know, people DDoSing the site, etc., etc. So they have to play on Badlands. I was watching the game against Cafe Monster when they played and got trashed on Badlands, so we might be seeing a completely different Yomis playing. But the last map was pretty good, right, Yuki?
Yeah, no, Grading was definitely a good game. The rollout not exactly going Yomi's way, but their phase or transitional play, whatever you want to call it, just seemed really solid. But they weren't able to clinch the game. It was a solid 3-5 score in favor of their opponent's Ascent, but good showing nonetheless against what should be a much superior team, at least on paper.
Absolutely, and the people's favourites tonight seem to be 20B once again. The Saloon.tf betting what do you call it, ratings, I don't know, the odds, that's the word I'm looking for. The odds.
Words are hard, it's okay.
Very difficult at 4 in the morning. The odds heavily skewed in 20B's favour, something like 95%. I think Yomis have definitely got more than a 5% chance of taking this tier from 20B, but 20B have just played against the Grime as well, who are one of the lower or mid invite teams this season. They managed to dispatch them fairly easily, 15 minutes, 5-0. I don't think they lost a mid either, which I believe was on Granary, so they're now moving over to Badlands, where they have to take on a team who are fresh from having an incredibly close game against a really good team, as you said. So both teams going to be raring to go, but we'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, obviously a much more different map, Granary compared to Badlands. This is, this is mostly Scout Town, as people like to call it, especially with, that not so recent Demoman nerf, which, it wasn't a massive nerf, but it was enough to, throw a curveball into the works for most Demoman and get them to, get used to charging their stickies more or getting better spam angles, things like that, as looks like both teams have 6 in the server, so we should be starting momentarily.
Yeah, we'll be going live incredibly soon, and something that I was watching out for when they played against Cafe Monster on Badlands was Jeremy's position on the mid fights. If we take a look at him when they go live, he seemed to favour going house and then playing really defensively and choke on Badlands, just inviting aggression from players, and unfortunately they kind of baited the aggression onto Jeremy in order for CJ and Rakuso to mop it up, but they just weren't able to do that against Cafe Monster. I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it here against 20B, but I have faith in the Yomis. I think they can make it work as long as they can make things happen in the mid part of the middle. As long as they don't get crushed right at the beginning, and they can start putting out some aggression halfway through the mid, they should be able to get some decent rounds off the back of it.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more gunboats from CJ and even from the opposing team's pocket too. Just Badlands, just a map, I should say, where a lot of these scrappy skirmishy kind of fights just play out, and giving those heals towards those scouts are key. So using those gunboats in that pocket just offers him more mobility and in general just less damage taken, because easy peasy for those scouts to just sit on that 185 and just plow through the other team's horses.
Yeah, that's a good point there. CJ is still running the gunboats. He is going to be running the gunboats pocket apparently for the majority of the season. It wasn't just something that he's running on Granary. He's still got it equipped now for Badlands, and we were having a little discussion about that just before the game. What do you think? What do you think about the gunboats pocket? You're a fan?
In the past, I hated it because it was just such a strong thing, and it's true. Like I like it now because I've had to think about it more, and I'm like, yeah, it's even stronger now because And as I said, you'd get those heals more towards the scouts and more towards the demo man and less off the pocket, especially when they're not really that necessary and you just become a heal vacuum, as we actually are going live in both teams' pockets running those gunboats, as we were saying.
Yeah, here we go. It's ESEA Season 19. This is the match between 20B and Yomies. That's the Street Hoops and Yomies on CP Badlands. 20B the favourites, but Yomies have showed us their incredibly strong team. I'm going to keep my eyes on Deadbolt and Yomi as they go forwards here. Yomi actually taking the balcony rollout as well as Deadbolt, and it looks like Yomi's going for an aggressive volley, taking the enemy train. CJ and Rakuso straight up there, and now it's a battle of who can get the better position on each other's trains. Rakuso's going to bomb in and taking a bit of spam. Oh, Showstopper gets blocked in midair down onto the valley floor, but Ash has picked up some key frags there, and Ninja Nick in fact picks one up of his own, and this is just a bit of a collapse. What went wrong for them there? Oh, Free State's still in. Maybe I've called it too late. Oh no, Free State ran in and got a 2k when I was all about ready to call it dead and done and dusted, but yeah, what went wrong for Yomis?
Just they got the positioning, that they wanted, because teams in America just love going the other team's trains, so both teams mirrored the rollout, but after the soldiers jumped in, he just got focused and there was no follow-up at the right time. It was just, kind of a lemmings kind of play, as I love to say a lot of the time, and as a result they just got picked off one by one. It was like the scouts were skeet shooting, and this huge Uber van is now in favor of Street Hoops as they're looking to push in momentarily.
Free State going to run in that defensive sniper, and Jeremy on the loose cannon, the double donker. Oh, there we go, a headshot onto the pocket of Showstopper is going to take him out of the fight, but it's a soldier for a soldier, and Ash and Paragon are causing havoc on that top right hand side. Only 3 left alive, and Forofo's got nobody to heal. He's on 80%. Can he get a swing? Not a chance, and he goes down without having anybody there to build up the Uber charge with. No hope of the defense without that Uber there for the Yomis, and 1-0 fairly quickly on the board for Street Hoops. They're going to be wanting to go into the second mid fight with a bit of pace and try and knock Yomis off their balance.
Looks like Yomi's actually opting to go their train this time, and Street Hoops look like they want to fight it, so both soldiers jumping, leading the way, getting some good damage on Yomi's. Yomi does get taken out, but so much damage done on Street Hoops side right now. Rakuso with the air shot on Showstopper, absolutely destroying him there. Street Hoops still like they want to fight this. Ninja Nick is still in the valley. He's going to get destroyed here, jump in by the soldier, going to get picked off by Size of it. Size is going to get the double kill, but yeah, they are going to lose their medic, and Yomi's actually do keep theirs, so they're going to have no, Ninja Nick actually back up into the reset. I didn't even see that happen.
Ninja Nick flew like a glorious bald eagle.
Entirely. He just still lived. He just did some Kelly Slater surfing action. He's hiding in this respawn. I think Free State actually knows.
It was so good by Sizer though as well. He was so good at just batting people out of the air there. Just CJ and Rakuso both down. And actually Ninja Nick takes the back spawn. He knows that Yomi's just shutting him off in that resup area. And Ninja Nick's forced to back spawn and lose that 55% that he'd built up. Plus all the time that he spent hiding out there in the resup means that he's now got a 60, more like 70% disadvantage. And Yomi's have an opportunity to really close the gap now and make it 1-1.
This SG up there as the Uber is popped, and they're not really going to do much with it. Only now just taking down the SG, but they are going to be getting a lot of positioning, I should say. Showstopper trying to take down the soldier demo man. Does take down the demo man and scout though, so good damage on those Yomi's players as they do lose 3-4 now. The medic does escape though, but absolutely dominant defense by Street Hoops. They do lose their medic, unfortunately, but they are going to take this spire momentarily, and Yomi's going to get some spawns. They're going to peek a bit, but with these spawns and heal advantage they have on Street Hoops, they're probably going to be looking to retake this spire quite soon.
They should be able to if they start getting some early spam on now. If they can chip away at these players and really move 4-4 forwards, they've got about a 10-15 second Uber advantage as well, which they can use on last. If I'm Street Hoops in this position, I actually want to try and fight and contest Yomi's a little bit as they cap Spire, because if I can get a decent hold out now while the Ubers aren't in play, I don't have to deal with that that defensive Uber advantage situation, which is going to be a little bit messy for them as they go forwards now. But Forfo hasn't quite been building as well as he could, but still has that Oh, actually he's doing perfectly fine. It's a 30% Uber advantage as long as they push fairly quickly and get onto Ninja Nick. But they're taking their time as they move in through this upper lobby. They really want to go with it though. CJ and Ringo moving in through this left-hand side. They're trying to get onto Ninja Nick, but Ninja Nick has already got his Uber charge up, and the counter Uber coming out of Showstopper here. He's going to push it all the way into lobby, teaming up with Paragon for the 3k. And he moves onto Rikuso as well, finishes him off. That's a 4k for Paragon.
Yeah, just easy pickings for Street Hoops right there, just baiting in Yomis, as Yomis thought they had a bigger advantage than they did. They tried to use that little Uber advantage and they just got absolutely crushed, only getting away with one person, I believe. No, they actually lost all 6. So no players, not really many players up for this midpoint right now, especially no demo man for Yomi, so this is going to be a tough ask for them to try and defend this. But Rikuzo jumping in, trying to get some damage on, does get taken down, but buys a decent amount of time for his team. But this positioning is all for Street Hoops right now, as Yomis are going to have to back away and maybe try to defend this
all the way through. They want to take this all the way through. Choke, Showstopper jumping in, but the rest of 20B not quite right behind him. They need to wait for this Uber charge. Ninja Nick just calling the halt to that push. They are going to have the Uber advantage though, and they're going to be coming through the choke point momentarily. Sizer and Paragon leading the way. The double scout as they flood in through this choke. They know that they can get frags if they push on with it. As CJ getting down weak on that Spire, only 40 health, picking up some health kits and chipping away, just buying the time for 404 to get his Uber up, gives his life away, but gets the trade on Sizer, so that's a fairly decent situation for the Yomis to be in right now. And they're just going to try and put the squeeze on them as they come close. That was a nice play by Yarmy to take down Deadbolt, and they're slowly but surely getting the better end of this.
Yeah, I think that was a poor read by Street Hoops. They're down the one scout, sure they had the soldier advantage, but you know, being down one scout, especially in a position like that, is just not a fight you want to be having, and they're just getting pressured out here right now because that one scout's down. Showstopper, they're leading the way. Uber's a traded on both sides. It's a very slight advantage for Street Hoops. Showstopper's going to try and catch a frag. I don't think he's going to get one. No team's getting a frag at all, so bit of a tumbleweed to that Uber fight, and it's just going to be a bit of a reset as Street Hoops are just holding this midpoint right now, and Yomi's just holding this choke. And I see there's actually a cannonball on Yeremy. The soldiers both jump around corner. That is, the Ash does get owned by Ringo and CJ, taking down Showstopper as well. So 2 picks in favor of Yomi's. They're going to push into mid very shortly with this nice player advantage they have.
I really like that positioning as well for Yomi's, running 2 scouts around choke so that they can deny the aggression coming out of the 20B soldiers. I really like that work from Ringo and Free State there, with Rikuso holding the flank. I haven't seen that very often, but it worked to perfection there for the Yomis, and they're going to want to try and punish people as they're peeking through the choke point. Deadbolt caught quite a lot of damage, but not enough for the Yomis to push on. They're just going to kind of reset around here. They've managed to pick up the mid off the back of some aggression from 20B, which didn't quite work out, but now the onus is on Yomi's to try and make something happen, and it's Rikuso and Free State moving around trying to get the pick on Ash, but they're not going to be able to find anything.
I'd like to see Yomi's actually try for a resupply push, because Street Hoops have 5 players at this choke right now, and you know, you don't want to push the side where everyone has their team for sure, but looks like they're going to opt for the bomb. Ninja Nick actually does get forced, so he was a bit scared that rocket from Rikuzo was going to hit him, that air shot attempt, but not really much can happen from Street Hoops. They do get the force out. They're going to lose at least 1 player, but Yomi's are going to chase around this choke with CJ and Free State, trying to get any more blood, but no blood being spilled on Street Hoops' side just yet. Striders are coming in from the house, trying to get a pick. Ash coming from the flank, meanwhile, getting some huge damage in. Showstopper comes in with the follow-up. Very strong damage done on Yomi's side, but actually Yomi's getting a very favourable trade. They haven't picked the other team's medic, but they've kept alive their DM classes, and Neo players alive for Street Hoops are Demoman and Medic, and Deadbolt doesn't want any of that Spire at all, considering how low the Yomi's players are, and this may be a decent cap time for Yomi's.
Ash did so much damage with that bomb, and although Showstopper did pick up a frag from following up on it, I feel like if he'd bombed in just a split second sooner, he would have been able to get a little bit more. Ninja Nick and Deadbolt at risk of being caught out here by Rikuzo, who's hanging around on that last. He's going to come in, and he's trying to pull out the skill stick. Oh lordy, Deadbolt there with a pipe. That was so close.
He almost actually killed the Demoman with the equalizer,
with 3
whatever you
HP
call it. The
well.
escape fight. That's probably the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Here they come though through main. Oh no, the Yomi's choosing not to do the non-Uber push there. They look very eager as they peek towards that main entrance, but they must realise that they have a disadvantage.
Like, nope.avi, I think, as they're just going to opt to chill as Street Hoops are going to push in here.
How did CJ get that pick? Well, there's Paragon out of the equation, and you really need to scout in an Uber like that. He's going to be able to find Ninja Nick as well. CJ seems like he's accidentally positioned himself to get all the frags there. Maybe we'll attribute that to game sense rather than accident. But Rakuso is going to jump on the point, and there we go, 1-1. That was, I think... Yeah, I really don't think that CJ can have deliberately meant to take out Paragon right at the beginning of that Uber charge, but Ninja Nick dropped him, and as soon as Paragon went from that aggressive Uber, they really had nobody to finish off the frags, and that was a collapse.
If you lose a scout like that in a big Uber advantage push, you just lose, big brunt of your Uber. And it's actually funny to note that Rakuso, with that skill stick play earlier, actually swapped to the pain train for that last cap and was able to 2-time scat, but enough of that, as Yomi does get picked, and Free State as well. So, 2-player disadvantage for Yomis right now. They're still going to try and peek in a bit here. Rakuso and CJ both throwing away their lives. Meanwhile, Ash is trying to get in on 4-4. Does get him to 20 health, but actually, like the granary all over again. Yomis are having sloppy rollouts, but they're winning a lot of these, transitional plays. So, let's see if they can try and defend this Spire with this heal and Uber advantage momentarily.
Yeah, 20B are giving them so much room here. They really don't have anybody further forwards than Paragon, who's just kind of hiding out in the bush strat on mid. So they're expecting to be receiving a Yomi's push very shortly. 4-4 on 85%. They're going to be moving in there, and they've actually got 2 players in position to force this. Ash hiding underneath the shithouse, and Paragon there in the bush as well. And it's going to be 4-4 moving out across the house, and he drops there. Paragon and Ash both combining together at the perfect time. That was so well synchronized there from the Scout and Roma of Street Hoops. Oh, but the counter aggression coming out is going to find Ninja Nick. CJ going in. Everyone's so weak. Look, a combined health of less than 70 here for the players on Street Hoops, and you just get the feeling that if some of the shots had just landed slightly differently, that could have been a brilliant one for Yomis, even after they dropped their medic. But it was not to be. Sizer and Paragon, living throughout the end of that, are going to be able to clean up along with Deadbolt. And that's a bit of a fail push from Yomis there off the back of a really unfortunate drop, but actually a really nice play from Paragon and Ash.
Yeah, definitely. That was just really solid play there. That amount of damage, just a medic won't expect that, especially if that's a player that they don't account for. And I would have liked to see Yomis contest this Spy early, considering there was only 2 scouts. But a lot of damage coming out right now. They are still trying to fight this, despite them being so low in such an odd position right now. As Paragon looking like he wants the back cap, but Yomi and CJ keeping an eye on that. But these soldiers of Street Hoops, just superior positioning on that Spy, just spamming down. Sizer with the kill on 4-4.
Oh my god, he just jumped in, did a double bomb, and juggled Ninja Nick up in the air and destroyed him with an air shot. I mean, I don't think it's actually going to make it. Yeah, it's not going to make a difference, but that was a flashy play and a brilliant one there from Rakuso. It's a pity the rest of their team couldn't hold off the aggression on Spire from the soldiers of Ash and Showstopper, who were just raining down damage on that Spire.
Yeah, just those soldiers just had superior positioning. They weren't really getting touched at all, and they just absolutely rained down havoc on the other team. So, going to see if Yomis can pull a rollout out of their hat right now, as they're opting for a defensive rollout, and Street Hoops are actually going to respond the same way, just taking their side for now. And Rakuso is the first one to initiate, jumps in, trying to get some damage on the soldier, but Showstopper does get the first kill on Ringo. CJ getting taken down as well, but Yomi with the double kill with the donks. She's talking out a little bit of Badonsky action here, as Rakuso does take down Sizer as well, so actually a successful rollout for Yomis.
Oh, Yomi with that play with the loose cannon, it absolutely worked to perfection. Just when everybody's bottled up in that choke point, it was doing so much damage, and the double donk found its target as well. Sizer and Paragon still not alive here, and I don't think Street Hoops are going to be able to put up a defense, even though they do have the Uber. They actually want to use this. Showstopper is going to take the Uber charge out. 4-4 is going to have his Uber up in about 5 seconds, but they've maybe overcommit a little bit here. Perhaps this was the perfect play from Street Hoops. 4-4 is going to have his Uber up fairly soon, but I don't know whether he's going to keep Yomi alive. Yeah, they are going to be able to keep these players up, and in the end, it's kind of equalized, and it was a good job 4-4 did manage to get out there, because if he'd been forced to use his Uber charge, it would now be a fairly decent position for 20B, but as it is, Yomis are going to be able to pick up this Spire off the back of a huge Uber advantage.
Yeah, Street Hoops have no soldiers up right now, so they can't really spam this Spire at all, and that was just a bit of an overextension by them. If Ash didn't throw away his life just then they may have been able to defend the Spire a little bit better, but that cap is successfully taken for Yomis, and there is a foothold for Street Hoops though, so gonna buy them some time. Meanwhile, Sizer is building an SG up on last. It looks like CJ really wants to pop through here. Here we go, they're popping in through the last, but they're going to be met by a sentry on momentarily. It's only level 1 though, so not too strong, but it's going to be a bit of a pest. Meanwhile, Freestay does take down Paragon with a flank. A bit of scuffle on this last point. The Showstopper does take down Freestay and CJ with the help of the rest of his team. And Showstopper with the triple kill actually takes down Rakuzo. There's Uber coming up for Ninja Nick momentarily, but Yomi, these donk kills. Why didn't he use this thing early? He's just absolutely wrecking right now.
He's going insane. I think that was a one-hit kill there onto Sizer. It does 141 damage. He's so salty. Can we get some PJ salts in chat in memory of Sizer? Rest in peace. Pay your respects. Yeah, they're going to back out from this Uber, coming in aggressively here from Showstopper, but that just gives 4-4 a huge advantage. And these aggressive Ubers coming out from last from Street Hoops have really got absolutely nothing. And if they commit to this cap, surely they're going to die. This is just a death sentence for Street Hoops to commit to this fight. If they... Oh, 4-4 drops his pocket though. This is a little period of grace here for Street Hoops, where everything might just go to plan. They managed to get the Uber charge out and they didn't get punished for it here. So Street Hoops in the end getting away just by the skin of their teeth.
Actually, there's a two-player advantage for Yomi, so they might be looking to push soon. Maybe take that top right side, especially with no scouts up.
Oh, you've got to push
here. Ashby nearly sides up. But no, looks like they're going to not push. Bit of an interesting decision. They're going to let them set up. As Free State comes in through the lower right, maybe trying for a play on the point, but does get destroyed by Ash, so he's probably going to maybe swap to that sniper play momentarily. Meanwhile, we have Rakuzo hiding in this sneaky goblin spot on this light. He's going to gank Ash. Absolutely crushes him there, taking no damage apart from fall damage. And
I love that little spot on the lamp.
That's a bit too cheeky, I think.
Yeah, there's one on that lamp and there's one just on the bottom right as well, but Rakuso's in. Rakuso's going to try and get a play onto Ninja Nick there, but he's jumping straight into the arms of the sentry gun, and Paragon absolutely welcomes him into all that damage. Sizer running the sniper as well, trying to get an entry pick to see if the rest of his team can poke here, or maybe just send Showstopper in buffed to try and force 4-4 if they do manage to get a pick. Either way, they're playing a mixture of passive and aggressive here. They look like they're quite prepared to poke into upper lobby if they get the opportunity, if Yomis give them the room. But on the other hand, Yomis are putting all their eggs in the basket of Rakuso on Spy. Where on earth is he?
He looks like he's just coming up onto this grey bridge area right now, heading in towards the lobby very shortly. I don't know where he's going to go. He's going to get some spam from his team. I wonder if Shooters are going to expect this. They probably should expect something like this, because especially with the Roma death, Ash peeking that lower door. Oh, he actually got in scot-free. He's going to go for a play on the point, actually. Is he Cloak and Dagger? I hate that unlock. No, he's not. He's going normal. He's just going to... He's actually just...
That was appalling.
He's still on the point, uncloaked, just disguised, and just nothing happened.
Perhaps... He must have thought that he was running Cloak and Dagger, because that was a good play if he was running Cloak and Dagger. You know, they were starting to shoot the stickies off the point, and then he would have uncloaked, and then they would have run like a scout from bottom right onto it, as well as jumping someone down main possibly. So I could see where that was going, but he just accidentally uncloaked. I guess he didn't realize he was running that watch, or I don't know, but that didn't quite work out for him, and he's gone back to the roaming soldier. So we're just gonna wait for a little while for something to happen here for Yomis.
It's definitely a pain to push into the sentry gun. I mean, and try and pop the other team's Uber at the same time. Probably the best bet, especially if the other team's not running a pyro, is probably to just, you know, Uber the demo man through main, get the sentry gun, try and get the force with some coordinated spam from top left, and maybe go for that post Uber play. But I wonder if Yomi's going to do anything like that. Just a bit of a stalemate right now. Maybe looking for something from Rakuzo from this lower right. But he's not going to have much luck, as Deadbolt is spamming with some pipes there, and Ash supporting him a little bit too.
Let's see, from the way that Street Hoops is set up at the moment, how would you approach this? I feel like top right, from the attacker's perspective, is really quite open, and you could get in there and maybe get a pick on Ash if you push both of the scouts in. You know, the sentry gun can't quite reach over there, and if they time it so that Ash is... Oh, they've actually just double spammed down that sentry.
There goes your tactic.
Absolutely, so here we go. This is surely going to prompt the aggression out of Yomis. They've got a window of opportunity here to push before another sentry gets built up. Actually, they're not even running the engineer. CJ are just going to run in and trade Ubers. They're going to bait down Ninja Nick and Showstopper into this low ground. Are they going to try a repush here? No, they're not.
Try a repush, maybe from top right, because there's actually no stickies there, so Will be a good time, but Deadbolt is there waiting them with the
They're too slow.
pipes. But no, they're not doing anything. They're just going to stalemate it again. Maybe try and build a slight Uber advantage that they have, just because they popped a little bit earlier. But I'm not sure how usable it is going to be. Actually, it is building up to a decent amount. Street Hoop's not actually really building at all. And Yomi's building really hard. They're actually going to have about a 20-odd% Uber advantage.
There's the strat. There's the strat coming out from Yomi's. Just play it off the Ninja Nick, not quite building it. Size has sat there with his 3-rune blade out, but they're just not going at it as hard as the Yomis are, and they've got the Uber charge up, and it's a 35% advantage. That's huge. CJ all the way onto Ninja Nick. 4 HP there for Ninja Nick. Does manage to escape. Paragon down. Showstopper only on 15 health, but they can't finish these frags. Everyone was so weak, but they're just not getting the frags here, Yomis. It's so unlucky. I think they should have committed more people to it, because they knew that they had an advantage there, or that was the whole play, that they had an advantage, you know, because they were building faster, but they really didn't commit enough people to finish the frags.
It would have been better if they just Ubered through top left and just killed those players that were super forward and then just shoved the rest of Street Hoops into spawn, but they opted for that main play and it didn't work out too well for them. They get their soldier picked off after only getting 1 kill, and meanwhile, oh my god, the full body shot by Rakuzo, just making plays time and time again, regardless of what class you're on, apart from that spy play, which was a bit questionable, but Free State does get taken down meanwhile on the flank, but that is a solid player advantage and Uber advantage now in favor of Yomi's, coming up on 85% now. Ninja Nick's still yet to spawn, CJ on the point, gonna try and get some good pressure onto it. It's Yomi following it up, but Showstopper trying to get some damage on the Yomis. There's a scout on them, there's Paragon trying to get some damage, but Uber does come out from Yomi's. The spawns are coming in right now though. Ninja Nick gonna try and battle it out, a little bit of sword and board action. It does get taken down. That brings us to an even game 2-all.
There we go, 2-2. All the Yomis needed to do was bait out the push from Street Hoops and then crush them on second. So, you know, maybe they shouldn't have been faffing around for ages in upper lobby anyway. Maybe they should have just failed the push and let nature take its course. Anyway, the score 2-2, and Yomis are going to be looking to basically just not get crushed on this mid-fight. Jeremy pushing forward across the point, really aggressive play from him, and everybody from Street Hoops is underneath the point. CJ gonna try and get some damage down here, and the not quite double dunk coming out from Jeremy, but he does manage to finish off Ninja Nick. This is looking good for Yomis.
Yeah, Street Hoops committed really hard for that, and they paid for it. They just lost their whole team, just, you know, one after the other. Ringo with the early kill on the scout, I think, was the key there. Just once you lose that early scout on mid, especially a map like Badlands, you just, you know, you lose that mobile class, especially with his firepower. And Yomi's Free State actually denying Paragon, he's trying to contest it. Bit of an odd position to try and fight for Paragon. Doesn't get the cap successfully, but Jeremy getting caught out a little bit. Paragon trying to catch him off, but does get taken down. Nice coordinated play by Yomi's there. And they do have a scout advantage, so they actually have an Uber advantage as well. Is that a crit scree? Yeah, that is the crit scree coming out for 404 by the looks of things. So they're going to look for crit scree pushing this last momentarily, and it's actually a really good timing window right now. This Sentry Gun's only going to be just up, especially at level 1. And about to push with that into level 3. Here we go.
They're pushing in with CJ on that upper section, and as everybody runs away from the crits in an effort to kite it, they play the point, and there we go, 3-2 in favor of Yomis at the moment. That was a nice play from them. The crits working to perfection. They knew that both of the medics were spawning at the same time, and they would have that crits advantage, and Slicer just didn't quite have the sentry up in time. They weren't prepared for that. So another mid fight. Let's see if Yomis can bring oh no, sorry, I have completely messed it up, haven't I? This is the half time. This is how ESEA works. I remember.
It's good, you're learning.
I learned. It's America. We pause in the middle and swap sides.
That's it.
So, how do you feel like Yomis are doing on mid? They had a fairly impressive mid just at the end there, but the rest of them not quite getting rolled, but certainly 20B seemed to have the measure of them.
It was really good, that rollout, especially as I said, they got that early scout pick onto, I believe it was Paragon. And as I said, once you get that scout pick on mid, especially if it's really early, before anything really happens, it just, you know, you have that extra firepower, and the other team, you know, has that one less scout. Whereas, you know, a soldier or demo pick, it's okay, nothing that exciting, but if it's those quick fights, the scout just owns, and it looks like we're already live in the second half. So hopefully Yomis can play with more of these good rollouts.
Here we go. Let's see where both of these teams are coming from. Yomi takes an early sticky and Ash is straight onto him. Yomi down to 10 health, going to drop off into Valley and get healed up by 404. And CJ is going aggressive there, but the first frags are going in favor of 20B. Yomi getting pressured down so weak again, just eating up the heals on this mid-fight. Free State coming in, going to see if he can try and get a cheeky frag there. Does manage to finish off the pocket, but Paragon's got him in his sights. Recuso and 404 split up. I was trying to see if they had backed out together there so that 404 could get his Uber up, but actually Recuso is going to be hiding, waiting for the Ninja Nick frag, but Nick knows. Nick was just peeking from side to side like he was crossing the road there. He was peeking out, looking to the right, looking to the left, checking all the hiding
so much
spots.
time for his team. Look at this, he's got the 2 scouts looking for him. Those 2 scouts are not in the fight at all. I wonder if Yomi's actually realizes they're going to try and peek mid, but especially with the Uber advantage, but it looks like they're not going to. And take the safer option, wait for that respawn. They got plenty of time for that respawn before the Uber advantage, but they probably don't want to wait for the soldier to get there, because by that time they will have squandered their Uber advantage. Smartly enough, they're peeking through this house just before Rikuzo spawns. They do pop early. Meanwhile, 2 players on the flank for Street Hoops are going for that flank play, trying to see if they can get a back cap. They do get a kill in Free State though, so they're going to probably pressure this Spire point as Ash does get behind meanwhile into the lobby. There's some good cap time for Yomis though. Showstopper does get taken down. There's Uber coming up for Ninja Nick momentarily. He is on 82%, but favorable trades, rather should I say even trades right now, as Ash is actually the one capturing the Spire, drawing the other team back, just buying his team well needed time and just smartly getting out as well.
Yeah, I actually don't like that play from Sizer though. Sizer had an opportunity to combine with Ash or combine with the rest of his team, and instead just ran in and gifted a frag to Yomis. If he had sat there in choke and just waited for the rest of his team to push them into his waiting meat shots, he could have really caused some havoc there for Yomis, but instead he just was a little too eager and chewing on the bit, and unfortunately it got him killed. But it's not going to matter too much. Street Hoops pulling this forward. Showstopper gets dropped though by some sick burst damage there coming out of Yomi, and Free State picks up a frag as well. They are going to lose the Spire, but they're going to be pushing back, surely. Yep, Ringo and Free State getting on that Spire, and with the 2-player down, they're going to be pushing them a choke.
Refuser actually just get taken down, and these full spawns are up for Street Hoops, so they're probably going to be peeking in here, maybe pressuring this flank with that Roamer down. Here we go, Paragon coming in from behind. Uber is popped though, and that is only on Yomi's. That Street Hoops Uber only now just getting popped. CJ getting taken down. This is going to be a train wreck of a push for Yomi's right now, as Sizer takes down Ringo as well. Free State goes down as well, and that is going to be a Spire retake for Street Hoops very soon, as it looks like Sizer still wanting to try and draw some blood here, though he is going to back off as he's getting forced back a bit. But with the support of Deadbolt, Ninja Nick, and now also Showstopper, going to see if Street Hoops maybe try and push in here soon, as these respawns aren't coming yet.
A lot of damage being tanked here by CJ. He's down to 20 health. Might be Ash. Yeah, Ash gets the splash there to take down the opposing soldier. He goes down actually in trade there from Rikuso in the bottom right. But things are just stabilizing a little bit. Both teams on about 75%. They're just building up their Uber charges. It's Uber v Uber. No crits on the scene. No shenanigans like that at the moment. And we're going to see how Street Hoops attempt to break down this last defense. Yomis were very, very good at defending their last on Granary, but it's a completely different kettle of fish here.
Kettles and fish. Tasty.
Absolutely. Don't
That's
put
right.
fish in kettles. As a side note, don't do that.
Here we go, we're going to see Ash with the sniper coming through this main entrance. Going to try and get some love, but does get some love in the form of rockets in his face. Taken down by some nice spam by CJ with the help of Yomi. So we're going to see, I wonder if Yomi's going to try for some suicide play maybe, as actually Free State is extremely aggressive in this lobby. He's going to find Deadbolt by himself, does take him down. Really well played by Free State there, just taking that soft player advantage opportunity to get that pick on that demo man. As Sizer coming into last. What is this? This is just throwaway scout day, as actually Uber was popped, I didn't realize, by 404 and Street Hoops as well. So
The back cap! Unbelievable! Paragon slinking in there, unseen by anybody, and just gets on the point. There we go, Paragon stealing it away, and there's the first round of the second half going in favor of Street Hoops. Wow, just not covering that bottom left hand little entrance there, and the Yomis pay for it.
Yeah, it's an even game again, 3-all, but 3 to both sides, I should say. As we're going to see what rollout they do, as Yomis look like they're going to take the other team side. Meanwhile, Street Hoops are going to do exactly the same. It's just going to be a bit of a spam off right now. I'm going to see who's going to initiate. Meanwhile, Deadbolt is actually taking his time to get up there, so no spam coming out from him just yet. as Showstopper is going to be the first one to peek his head forward. He's going to get caught underneath, but it looks like CJ with a nice equalizer kill on Showstopper. Both teams losing 2 players, but the trade is in favor of Shootoops now, as they actually do get another pick. Free State going to try and get caught off here, but no. Sizer does get taken down, but Paragon with the return kill on Free State. It's a 2v3 right now. Scout Medic, this is some weird ulti duo action right now. It's actually going to pop. And they actually, Ninja doesn't have Uber yet, but he's going to smartly back off. That is 4-4 with that remaining Uber charge. But Uber is not going to get popped on Ninja Nick's side, so there's a favorable Uber advantage for Shootoops right now. As there's a bit of a scuffle here at this resub. Deadbolt takes down Ringo. And this mid fight isn't even over yet, I don't think, as the mid still hasn't been capped. But no, Yomis decide to slow down a bit, and Shootoops are going to up the ante with this aggression, as Ash does get taken down in the resub, so a nice pick there.
Yeah, Showstopper and Ninja Nick look like they want to push the heals and the Uber charge through the resub area, though they're going to get forced super early by Rakusa and Free State in that resub area. And they're going to take the Uber through lobby. They can actually get onto Yomi and 4-4 here. Oh, Sizer is rushing in so fast there. 4-4 gets a slice, but Sizer is just on the ball. Takes down the medic and the demo man there. Such a big play using the tail end of that Uber and his buff to take down 2 key players when you're pushing into last for the Yomis.
I think Shootoops just need to slow down the game and make sure they build up a decent Uber advantage, because, you know, it looks like in the past in this game they just haven't been building their Ubers, and as a result, just the other team has just had time to build up Uber advantages. Free State was actually trying to play in the house area. It does get picked off, so Uber advantage, player advantage, I think Shootoops probably best to just opt to just build their Uber, make sure they push him with a sizable Uber advantage. But pushing into this cannonball is going to be very tough, as we seen time and time again. Just those cannonballs are just an absolute menace to push into.
They're running that pyro as well on the top right from Free State, and that's going to make things disastrous, but it does leave a massive gap open on that right hand side. Only Rakuso covering top right and bottom right from the attacker's perspective. They're choosing to Uber in from the top left, though, straight into the arms of Free State, and he's just going to reflect them all back for days. Deadbolt going down, but there's 3 frags in favor of 20B, and things are starting to open up here. Showstopper and Ash both playing on the point. The skill stick comes out. 4-4 down, and there's a round advantage in favor of Street Hoops.
If Yomi actually had the normal pipe launcher, he probably could have clutched that, but unfortunately he tried his best with his stickies, wasn't able to clinch it, and that is, yeah, as you said, 1 round win for Street Hoops. This is a match point for them now. 4-3 in their favor. We're going to see if Yomis can bring this back. It's a very close game right now, as Ash flying in extremely quickly onto Yomi, gets him to 2 health, falling into that valley, but Ash does die. But meanwhile, Ringo and Yomi both get taken down, as well as CJ, and the Sizer on this medic. Is he going to actually be able to get him? Taking the safe play, doing the long range pistol. Kuzo, though, going to try and say something about this Uber advantage that Street Hoops have, but does get destroyed. Free State, the last man alive, but Street Hoops smartly know he's going to be coming forward, trying for a play on the medic, does get taken down. Deadbolt with a little bit of headbanging on there, and that is a successful mid-fight for Street Hoops.
It seems like every time Yomi plays around his own train, he doesn't get enough position or damage, and as soon as the aggression comes onto him, he dies or soaks up a ton of heals. If he plays from Bald, he seems to, and the rest of his team seems to have a much better mid-fight. So keep our eyes on that. If they manage to last for a round here, if they manage to take it to another mid, because at the moment, as you said, it's match point here for 20B, and they look like they're moving. They're moving all the way through main.
They're just trying to storm in through here. They just completely bypass the sniper. Deadbolt does get a pick on Free State. CJ getting taken down as well. Very low players on Street Hoops, but Yomis aren't getting their Uber up yet, and they've got no utility classes to speak of on this last point right now. This is going to be the time for Street Hoops to play on in here, as they're getting so much damage on Rakusa. They get some bodies on the point. Yomi gets a pick, but that is going to be the cap. And 5-3 win in favor of Street Hoops. Good game, well played to all. And that was just an unfortunate game for Yomis. It just seems overall their rollouts on most maps, they just seem to be a lot weaker than the rest of the other teams. Like, their transitional play is quite solid, but it goes to their rollouts, and so often that just puts them on an automatic back foot. If you can't, if you can't play well in these rollouts, then just puts you on the back foot automatically almost.
Yeah,
it's
it definitely
a bit of a
does.
morale kind of thing.
it's one of the most important things about TF2 is the momentum that winning the mid fight gives you. And if Yomis are constantly struggling against the current of using these mids, they're not going to have a good time. But as you said, the rest of their transitional play is just as good or possibly superior to the teams that they've played against tonight, Ascent and 20B. But for given that they were both teams that Yomis weren't expecting really to win against, you know, they were the underdogs going into both of those games. I think the results, I think they should be fairly happy with. They were incredibly close games, and the score lines, was it 5-3 both maps on Granary and Badlands?
That's correct. 3-5 both maps. Their scores were.
It's certainly better than they performed against Cafe Monsters, so I think they can be looking towards building up some points as they go towards the latter stages of the season. What's the story of the logs then? If we take a quick glance over to them, let me see if I figured out how to use ESEA.
Just looks like this time the scouts from the other team were just superior. Street Hoops scouts just played a lot better overall. Sizer especially leading the way on 27 frags and 252 DPM, and only dying 16 times, which is, you know, quite a small amount of deaths for a scout, but, you know, not too little to, you know, just be like, hey, you're beating us, come on man, do some stuff. Showstopper leading the way on the damage, doing 300 damage a minute, and only took about 3,000, which is, you know, obviously more than the other team's pocket looking at the logs, but, you know, it's a solid amount. He was able to, with those gunboats, give more heals towards his scouts. Funnily enough, Ash only actually took, both roamers actually, I should say, took less than 500 heals, so it seems like they don't really like healing their roamers too much, but you do have that room to, you know, give the roamer a bit of heal beam love with that pocket using the gunboats. But with that said, just Street Hoops just doing more damage overall, as we can see, 3.5k more.
Yeah, they managed to make it work for them there, and some definite areas of improvement, but I think overall they can be fairly happy with how it went tonight. And I've certainly enjoyed my time having a watch of these NA games. I like to follow the scene. Shout out to the Fantasy TF2 League and Saloon.tf, which have both bolstered my my interest in the American scenes, seeing as I now have personal stakes in it. My ESEA team is doing really well in Fantasy TF2. It's doing much better than my TF2L team. Apparently I know nothing about EU. But absolutely. That about wraps us up for tonight, though. Do you have any shout outs, Yuki, before we go?
Not really. Thanks to everyone for watching and everyone that played. And shout outs to our cameraman, Marblr. He's awesome. Thanks a lot for everyone watching.
Yeah, we will see you again on Team Fortress TV when we're covering more ESEA and ETF2L action seasons 19 and 21 respectively. We'll see you soon. Good night.